Uh, why are we using wild cherry bark? Because best it's best to use the bark that has been collected in the fall when the prussic acid content is highest in wild cherry. And some herbalists allow the bark to age, we do, before using. Its main uses is as a sedative action on the respiratory nerves. So if there are just lots of spasms and coughing going on, wild cherry bark is a sediment, is a sedative for the respiratory nerves. And wild cherry bark works via the prussic acid, which first increases the respiration, then sedates the sensory nerves, which provokes the cough reflex. It is used for coughs, asthma, and other chest diseases. Wild cherry bark. The other, uh, the other system this herb works on with it is the digestive system. Wild cherry bark works on the digestive system, and it works to aid digestion. And it is useful for the digestive weakness, including ulcers and gastritis, colitis, diarrhea, dysentery, dyspepsia. The American Indians had numerous uses for wild cherry bark to ease the pain of labor, diarrhea, lung problems, as an enema for hemorrhoids, for dysentery, using the juice of the ripe wild cherries and then fermented. They fermented them for 1 year, and you don't use the leaves of the wild cherry bark. The leaves of the wild cherry bark are considered poisonous. See, these are all the things you need to know when you're working with herbs. And that's why I love working with herbs, is finding out exactly how to use each one. Now, golden seal, golden seal, that is number 3424. Golden seal, the golden yellow root of this plant gives it its name. It has antibiotic properties, stronger than many prescription medicines, and is able to target unwanted bacteria as well as protozoa and yeasts. And golden seal has the unique ability to not harm the beneficial bacteria that are necessary in the digestive tract. Golden seal. The alkaloid berberine has the added benefit of increasing blood flow through the spleen, where it also increases the immune building activity of the large supply of white blood cells. That's right. So it increases the white blood cells. And by many herbalists, golden seal root is considered one of the most powerful herbs. It is a substitute for quinine. Golden seal is one of the most effective remedies for inflamed and catarrhal conditions of the mucous membranes. It has the ability to heal mucous membranes anywhere in the body. Bronchial tubes, throat, intestines, stomach, etc. Golden seal root indications include its use for open sores, eczema, ringworm, and skin diseases, diphtheria, tonsillitis, and severe throat problems, sluggish digestion, used with skullcap and hops for spinal nerves. Golden seal works also with spinal meningitis, pyorrhea, sore gums, sinus difficulties. Matter of fact, there's a sinus antiseptic wash that will get rid of sinus disorders. And we're talking about golden seal for bladder disorders and lower bowel problems. You can even use it as an enema. Golden seal is used against infection, flu, diabetes, constipation, colds, cankers, psoriasis, heart disorders, and bladder and spleen and pancreas disorders. And a caution, if a person has high blood pressure, watch for the highs and the lows as they, and if they occur, then substitute golden seal with myrrh gum instead. And golden seal, the berberine in golden seal stimulates the uterus. Do not use during pregnancy, except under the supervision of a healthcare provider. And that's number 3424. And number 3205 is cayenne, considered by many to be the strongest stimulant known. That's right, cayenne is considered to be the strongest stimulant known. Internally, you use it as a relaxant to the stomach and the colon, and it's a healer. Cayenne is a healer. Number 3205 is a healer for ulcers. And yes, hello there.
Good afternoon, Truman. This is Stan.
Yes, Stan. I'm doing the conference call right now. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. Just thought I'd let you know the quest for the search for a building is over. I have located a building. As a matter of fact, I've been over there working with the owner of the building the last 2 days. I'm probably going to start moving next week. I'm hoping by the
Stan,
end of the week, the 26th, or maybe by the end of the month, I can get together with you.
Okay, Stan. Stan, can I call you back after I'm on this worldwide conference? Because right now, but I really appreciate the fact that you've given me a call to fix my old '97 Chevy Blazer that's been laid up for about 3 years now, and I will call you afterwards. So
like, I don't forget about stuff. It's like, but when I get somebody like yourself holding about them, try and let them know what's going on, so we can stay on top of it.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna give you a call back.
So give me a call when you got phone.
I will, brother. Thank you so much for your help, sir.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye for now. Well, that's Stan, the fellow who's going to fix my old '97 Chevy Blazer that's been laid up for 3 years. Nobody knows how to fix it. Okay. We must remain nimble here and flexible. We're talking about cayenne pepper, folks. Thanks for your patience. Number 3205, cayenne is considered, to be a strong stimulant. We use it against asthma. It's used against colds and sinus problems. It stimulates the heart and the blood. It gets rid of ulcers. We talked about that. Cayenne pepper is used for colds, sinus, respiratory ailments, indigestion, hangover, diabetes, cramps, circulation problems, asthma, rheumatism, kidneys, and high blood pressure. And you can also use cayenne with ginger to clean out the bronchial tubes and the sinus cavities, and as a gargle for sore throats. Cayenne, it can be used as an emergency treatment for shock. It'll bring someone out of shock. How do you do that? A level teaspoon of cayenne to a half a cup of very warm water. Not so hot that it's going to burn your tongue, but hot. But not so hot you're going to burn your tongue. And you put that in, you stir it up, and that will get rid of shock. It'll bring you out of shock immediately. It'll stop heart attack immediately. It will stop hemorrhaging anywhere and bleeding wounds. It will stop them from bleeding and hemorrhage immediately within 10 seconds. And you use it internally and externally. Cayenne pepper is incredible. Externally, you can use with golden seal and myrrh, and as a liniment for bruises and scalds and burns and sunburns, and you can steep it in apple cider vinegar for about a half hour and use it for sores and bruises, and it's used in the mouth for pyorrhea. And caution, it's avoid excessive consumption, which may cause digestive, liver, and or kidney disorders. There is such a thing as too much of a good thing. And we are coming down to the end of this report. It's been extensive, and then we're going to see if we can jump right over and see if Sister Kashakia has some information for us. I didn't realize this was going to take so much time, but we had to do our due diligence with COPD. This is how you deal with COPD. Last few herbs we're talking about lobelia, which is an herb that is commonly used both externally and internally to relax all the spasms. And in small doses, lobelia is used for lung congestion. And in large doses, it acts as a powerful emetic and will cause one to vomit up and get rid of excess mucus from the lungs and digestive tract. But there's a way to use that, and if you're going to use that against asthma. Some people have called me back and told me they no longer have asthma because they used lobelia in small doses until it was as an emetic. But first, you want to use some cayenne pepper, or you want to use some peppermint or a stimulant so you're not sore from the retching of getting rid of asthma. Okay, but we'll do that. Some people have told me they no longer have asthma by using lobelia in that way. And some people have told me they've tried it and it just didn't work for them. But most people have told me it works. And that's cool. It's one way to get rid of asthma. You vomit it all up, get it out of the body. But first use a stimulant like cayenne pepper so that when you do the retching, it won't make you sore, and that'll do that. So it helps. Lobelia helps to remove the mucus from the lungs and the digestive tract. And a few drops of tincture can be placed in the ear to relieve an earache. Lobelia is often used in liniments and poultices, and it may be mixed with cayenne and myrrh to reduce swelling and sprains and strained ligaments and for congestion in the muscles. And lobelia can be used with catnip in an enema for fevers and infections. And lobelia, number 3552, lobelia softens and makes fuller the pulse rate during inflammation and fever, reduces palpitations of the heart for fever and pneumonia. And lobelia is used for congestion, asthma, meningitis, pleurisy, hepatitis, peritonitis, nephritis, and for digestion. And that's some of the uses of lobelia. It's the thinking herb. It takes all the other herbs. When you use it with other herbs, it takes those herbs and takes them right where they're supposed to be and holds them there and acts like the general who's in charge and has them do their work. Lobelia does that. Isn't that something? A thinking herb that's called lobelia. Number 3398 is garlic. It's a stimulant to the digestive to the digestive glands and helps allay poor digestion. Garlic helps with the digestion. It's a natural antibiotic. It builds the blood and is an overall great healer. And its expectorant action makes it useful for chronic bronchitis and chronic stomach problems and stomach catarrh. And it's useful with all intestinal infections such as parasites, dysentery, cholera, typhoid, and the parathyroid and fever. And it helps to lower blood pressure. Garlic helps to lower blood pressure, especially when used with cayenne. And it counteracts arteriosclerosis. Garlic benefits the circulation and the blood, and you can use it with raw honey for coughs. I said raw honey, not cooked honey. Raw honey for coughs, colds, and asthma. Garlic is healing to skin, tumors, and a cold extract of garlic can be used in an enema for intestinal worms, especially pinworms. And garlic is also used to regulate the action of the liver and the gallbladder. And we're coming to the end of our topic here about COPD as we talk about bayberry bark. Garlic was number 3398. Bayberry bark is number 3063 over there at betterhealthherbs.com. And bayberry bark is a cleansing tonic for the liver. Bayberry bark is a tonic for the alimentary tract. It tones and promotes glandular activity. Bayberry bark is a uterine tonic. Bayberry bark is used to increase circulation and toning.
Muted. To unmute yourself, press the star key twice.
Uh-oh. It looks like I have gotten muted somehow.
It's off.
How did I do that? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, if you'd like to unmute your mic, all you have to do is press the star key twice. That unmutes your mic so you can ask a question. We will be taking questions after these last two herbs that we talk about. We're finishing here with bayberry bark, talking about how it is cleansing for the liver and a tonic for the alimentary tract and promotes glandular activity. Bayberry bark is a uterine tonic. Bayberry bark increases the circulation and toning of the arterial capillary tissues. It helps in toning. It helps to stop hemorrhage of the bowels, and the lungs, and the uterus. Bayberry bark is useful as a gargle for sore throats. It checks profuse menstrual flow. Bayberry bark used with cayenne for female organs is an effective douche and also useful as a wash for gangrenous sores, gangrene, and for carbuncles and infected areas. Used with cayenne as a germicide on wounds. Bayberry bark is used for canker sores. And number 1390, sinus and lung congestion, to help clear the lungs and sinuses of congested matter. So that's the use of bayberry bark. And finally, the last two herbs are peppermint bark, an effective herb for the digestive tract when there is COPD and asthma and bronchial problems. Number 3694, peppermint. It's used for the digestive system as an antispasmodic, and it also is working for the smooth muscle of the digestive tract. Peppermint is useful for colic, flatulence, nausea, spasms, cholera, diarrhea. Peppermint is stimulating to the liver and the gallbladder, and it's helping to increase the flow of bile. Peppermint may be useful, also used for the treatment of ulcers due to the constituent known as azulene, which is an anti-inflammatory in nature. Peppermint, a steam inhalation, may be used to decrease respiratory mucus, although I prefer eucalyptus for that. Like rosemary, peppermint is useful to stimulate concentration. Peppermint used externally, the oil is used for liniments and massage oils because of its cooling and anesthetic, and it increases blood flow to the area that it is applied. Peppermint tea may also be used for cooling fevers and for heart palpitations. Last herb, chickweed. Why is it used in these formulas for respiratory disorders? Because chickweed is an excellent remedy for pulmonary complaints, including bronchitis and pleurisy. And chickweed, number 3236, chickweed is used with internal and external inflammations. Chickweed of it, and these internal and external inflammations of the skin and membranous surfaces, also for bleeding in the bowels and lungs, and it's used as a tea for cleansing, and or eat the vegetable chickweed in a raw or in a salad, or steamed. Chickweed is an excellent poultice and ointment for wounds, skin diseases, inflamed conditions, and other indications include adolescent acne, impotence, diabetes, constipation, cleansing, circulation, bowels, psoriasis, obesity, and lungs. And that's it. Whew. That was a lot of information about respiratory disorders. And I'm going to go ahead and uh, let that thing go and come back over here and go back on here. And now we are back in Google Hangouts, and I'm back, and I'm going to unmute all the mics, and I have unmuted all the mics. If there is any kind of a question or any kind of a comment, the mics are all unmuted at the moment. Does anyone have a question or a comment? Does anyone have a question or a comment? We're coming to the top of the hour. Sister Kashakia, do you have any kind of a question or a comment?
I'm here. I'm ready whenever you're ready to do the topic I was going to do. I'm just waiting on
Oh,
you, Doctor. Sound like someone playing some music.
okay. The lines are open. I'm going to mute all the mics. We're getting a lot of static coming out of California, and I'm going to mute the mics, and we're going to visit with Sister Kashakia. So the mics are now muted again,
You have been muted. Mute off.
including my mic. I muted it and unmuted it, and I'm going back over now to Sister Kashakia's mic, and I've unmuted that microphone. Now, Sister Kashakia, how are you?
I'm good, Doctor. How are you? I've just been listening, trying to take it all in, what you've been sharing with us today on the COPD. So lots of information. So I'm looking forward to visiting the site, going back over some of what you've been sharing.
You know,
It's always a pleasure.
the only thing that I didn't mention for respiratory disorders was Tahitian noni, which is good for just everything. But you can help us with that one, right?
Oh, it's fine, Doctor. This is all about, that's what gives us the compliment. You get to talk about the herbs, I get to talk about the food. So it'll get mixed in there in one way or another some way. So I still was blessed by everything you shared with us today.
Great. Okay.
So, I'm ready.
Okay.
You are, Doctor.
All right. It's all yours, Sister Kashakia. I'm waiting to hear what you're talking about.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Discoveries in Health. Today, it's always a pleasure being able to speak to our audio listeners. And I am going to be talking today about a principle which has to do with eating the foods that the Most High created for us. So sometimes I ask the question, what's the best medicine for continued good health? And the answer is food. So I'm going to switch gears here a little bit and go into talking about nutrition, basically plant-based nutrition, cellular nutrition, understanding cells and tissues, how they operate in the body together. So I'm going to try to get through this in about 20 minutes. So we can it's going to go a little bit over 7, but I'm going to kind of go as fast as I can. And if anyone has any questions afterwards, I will give out my information where they can call, and then Dr. Truman can get out the number again and the website where you can order any of these products that I'm speaking on. So I want to start out talking about what is the Most High's design for food. There's a scripture in 1 Corinthians 6:13 that says, "Food for the stomach and the stomach for food, but the Most High will destroy them both." So what you consume as food is probably based on what your family enjoys. You know, we always grew up watching commercials, advertisement, or whatever fad is kind of in at that given time. Whatever the government promotes, social and economic factors are also influential. An example of the latter is serving meat with each meal. You know, we're used to eating meat along with our vegetables and different other things that we eat. So the word translated food in the New International Version of the Bible, or the word meat in the King James Version, comes from the Greek word brahma. It's also in the Old Testament, or in the Hebrew, it's lechem, which is another word for food. So I like to always get into details talking about food. So an example and a definition I always use starting out on this show is from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. The word food, which is a nutritive material taken into a living organism to be able to repair the cells and the tissues and be able to give energy for the vital processes thereof. So there's a lot going on that our food should be doing for us, along with the herbs and other supplements that Dr. Truman has been talking about. So I'm kind of just going to spend a little bit of time here talking about food in reference to understanding how the Most High created food, going back to the scriptures when the Most High said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with the seed in it, and they will be for your food." And that's Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. "And you will eat the plants of the field," chapter 3, verses 18. So when God brings items to his people as a gift, and in the Polynesian language, the tribe of Naphtali, which is from Tahiti or the Hawaiian area around that region, which is where the noni is grown. Dr. Truman was talking about the food that comes out of China, and he's absolutely right. It's just absolutely horrible, unsanitized, unsafe to eat anything that's coming from there. So the noni comes from Tahiti. It is grown out of the earth the way that the food and herbs and the plants are supposed to be able to grow, so you can get the nutrients from the plants that the Most High designed for the body to get. So also, he talks about the food that I provided for you, the fine flour, the olive oil, and honey that I gave you to eat. Also in Ezekiel 16 and 19 declares the sovereign Most High. So I just wanted to kind of share those scriptures to go back and remind people that the designer who created us, the Most High himself, had a blueprint of how we were supposed to eat so we could avoid a lot of the diseases and sicknesses that you hear people talking about on this show here today. So the food and the herbs that we share with you are things that can be able to reverse the sicknesses in a natural remedy way and put the body back at optimal level health. But one thing we don't really hear a lot about is about cellular nutrition, because we live in a day and time where most of us have been on medication for whatever disease or another. Most people that know me, but in case you don't, I am a cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011, and I was healed supernaturally by the power of the Holy Spirit, as well as using Tahitian noni juice by 2012. So I know a little bit about chronic pain, acute pain, different medications, the side effects that come with them, and just all kinds of gunk that comes with sicknesses and diseases. And it was never intended for us to be plagued with sicknesses or diseases. But because our food has the missing nutrients and proteins and amino acids and enzymes and alkalines and all the different things that we're supposed to be getting from our food, therefore we have a depletion in nutrition. So when people are diagnosed with asthma, they're diagnosed with high blood pressure or heart disease or even COPD, what Dr. Truman was talking about earlier, respiratory problems. I know oh too well about that. My daughter was a victim of very severe chronic asthma, even where she was having to receive allergy shots twice a week, and I knew there had to be something better out there for her, and I thank the Most High for bringing me to Tahitian noni, because this is what got my daughter over her asthma and all of her other chronic illnesses that she had that were just kind of crumbling down one behind the other. what they don't tell you in these doctor's offices, they do give us a little bit of a clue because they will tell you to make sure you're eating more fruits and vegetables. But they don't tell you what fruits and vegetables because each food, each herb, each plant has its own function. And each one provides for the body different. That's what makes Dr. Truman a master herbalist because there are different herbs for different situations. So every herb is not for everything. So as you give him your problems, he can recommend to you what herb that you need. So as you can see, every herb has a different function. Every food has a different function, but nonetheless, the food is supposed to be giving you living nutrients. And most of the food we're eating, it's dead. So if something is dead, that means you're not getting anything from it. And so once the cells begin to continue taking on dead food, then before you know it, the whole body becomes dead because nothing is functioning. Everything is dying off because we're not putting anything living inside of the body. You wouldn't take your car to the gas station and take a Snickers bar or a McDonald's or a piece of chicken and stick it in the gas tank because the gas tank would not know how to comprehend to that. And that's kind of similar to what we do with our bodies. We're putting things in our bodies that it's not familiar with. The DNA coding can't read it. It doesn't understand what is this because it's not actual real living food. So when we go back to the basics and eat the way that the Most High designed for us to eat, which is to eat food made from the earth, then we begin to see a lot of things rectified and they will reverse itself and the body will begin to heal and repair itself naturally on its own. So some of the adequacy of the approved food I'd like to talk about as far as like analyzing the Most High's generous provision to kind of see if it's adequate amounts of the three food types, which are your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. Your fiber-rich carbohydrates, they are present in abundance in all plant foods. Again, these are plant foods, foods made from the earth. So when you're in the grocery store and you're buying what we identify as the word food, that's why I use the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. So we can have an understanding on what the Most High, the Heavenly Father, what is He identifying as food because we've kind of got crossed up on what we're calling food because what we're calling food is not food. This is why we have so many sicknesses and pestilences and different plagues that were spoken about that would it be on the rise in the last day. So the food I'm talking about, again, which is the Tahitian noni plant, which is over 6,000 years that man can track it back, but it's been in the earth since the earth has been in existence. And just some of the health benefits that it helps with is your allergies. It helps with antibacteria, antioxidants. It's very superior in antioxidants to fight against the free radicals, which are damaging to the body's tissue cells. The autoimmune system, which should be a number one priority to have a healthy immune system at all times. So your food is supposed to provide nutrients and also compounds that can promote a healthy immune system. High blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, hormones, inflammation, multiple sclerosis, pain relief, Parkinson's disease, prostate condition, sleep, varicose veins. These are just to name a few, and many, many, many other benefits that it will help to reverse these benefits for people that are looking for natural remedies. So as you eat the proper food and use the proper herbs, now you have everything going hand in hand to be able to work together. So when you get into talking about, again, the fiber-rich carbohydrates, which are present in abundance in all plant foods, and then also understanding how all plants have some form of protein in them. And there's other forms that you can get into proteins from as well. So it's very important to be on a very, very high-tech protein. Most people get their protein from animal protein, which is not the best source of protein. You want protein coming from the earth. So there are things in plant-based foods that provide this protein for you in the way the protein is supposed to work, so the protein can do what it's designed to do, because protein has a function all of its own. So the animal protein is making it harder to do what it's supposed to do via the protein that's made from the earth. So we also have a protein that is called Rapid Fuel. And Dr. Truman will give out the information on if you are interested and you need some protein in your diet. It also has 4 electrolytes added in with the protein along with benefits of the noni. You can get the information that Dr. Truman is going to get out, and you can order the cherry mangaree flavor protein supplement that you can use to get the protein into your diet that you're needing. And it talks about another essential thing is your fats. And fats, not your fat, your fats, which can come from like nuts. I tell people nuts are the richest fat containing plants. The fats in plants are helpful, and when eating in moderation, and no plant food contains cholesterol, which is very important because a lot of people suffer from high cholesterol. So I have a lot of patients that have high cholesterol. Once they're on the noni, they don't have the cholesterol problem, and sometimes you can have problems going on. And you, for example, you can have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. You could be a diabetic, and there could be some underlying things going on that maybe the doctor hasn't even diagnosed it yet because it's somewhere lurking and hiding in the background in your blood work or tied up in your cells. Because when you're talking about cells, you're trillions and trillions and trillions of cells from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. So our whole goal is to make sure that we are feeding ourselves and giving ourselves proper nutrition by the food that we eat so we can put the amount of nutrients into the cells. So noni has 150 different nutrients and different minerals, and also another bioactive compound that is found in the noni plant that is only found in certain food plants, which is called iridoid. And you can Google the word iridoid to get more understanding about iridoids and how they work in the human body and on the cellular process. And it's spelled IRIDOIDS, iridoids. And iridoids are found, like I said, in only certain food plants, but it is found the most potency in the plant I'm talking about called noni. There are 16 different iridoids inside of that food plant, and it's very, very rare in other food plants. So we have a product called the True Age Max, which consists of the noni, the blueberry, the olive, the cherry cannoli, and the cranberry. And these are not just any cranberries out of any given store. These are cranberries all the way from Turkey. So this is the only one on the earth that has another source of iridoids. These are not any blueberries where you can just go pick up blueberries. These are blueberries that contain living bioactive compounds called iridoids. These are not any, cannoli and cherry. So the noni, it's not any noni. So there are different nonis out there. We identify them as phony nonis. We are the noni that is scientifically validated in a book called the Medical PDR, which is a physician's desk reference book. We've been validated through the Discovery Channel. We've done over $250 million of human clinical studies and research on humans because this product is used with humans, even though animals as well. So people that have horses, dogs, cats, things of that nature, if your animals are suffering from any chronic problems as well, you can also give this to your animals. So your animals can also benefit from the same health benefits that you receive, your animal can receive. So I have a lot of animal lovers that I have as clients that use this product as well for their animals to reverse whatever sickness or disease that the animal is plagued and dealing with. So there's to maintain good health, I talk about the following must be present and in proper balance. And this is just to name 9 things. And that is the essential amino acids from your proteins, your vitamins, your minerals, 2 essential fatty acids, your unrefined carbohydrates, other unknown food factors, your water, your oxygen, and also your light. So these items must come from outside the body. Many recent studies, prove that the bioavailability of these essentials are found in the maximum concentrations in the food approved by the Most High, and this is recorded in the Bible. So these same foods that I'm talking about, these is what your food is supposed to provide for you, your proteins, your vitamins, your minerals, fatty acids, different things like that. So excess and imbalance of any of these nutrients may also cause diseases, which goes back to what I said earlier. A lot of the diseases people have today is because there is an imbalance in the nutrients that the cells need for the body. So it is estimated that about 60% of the population of people ingest too much of one of the fatty acids, and about 95% on average ingest too little of the other essential fatty acids. So because there's not that balance there that the body needs, along with the missing nutrients that it needs, then you have the body kind of going haywire. So food that was created for living beings, why does foods approved by the Most High in the Bible suit us so well, I tell people, and why do humans enjoy them so much? So I talk about protein, because protein, again, I keep going back to that. Protein is very, very, the word I'm looking for, very valuable to need protein, because what I'm going to go into talking about AGEs here ties into protein. So living proteins contain 22 amino acids, and scientists have learned that the body itself produces only 14 of them. So the remaining 8 that are equally essential for healthful living must therefore be eaten. So therefore you must get it from a food source. So this rapid fuel that we have, again, which is one of our products with the Tahitian noni, is a very high quality enduring protein with also 4 electrolytes, and it's a protein source from the earth. So that helps to put the protein back inside of the body that is typically not balanced with the nutrition as well that it needs. So the amino acids, they are the building blocks for the protein, which include hormones and structural proteins and enzymes. Dr. Truman was talking about that earlier. So living proteins are formed by the DNA in the cells. Again, there we are talking about cells. So for the DNA to reproduce or to function, a full complement of proteins is necessary. So it's very important to have the right balance of protein, which leads me into talking about AGEs, which is normally what I talk about every Thursday. And what are AGEs? AGE is an acronym, just like it sounds, AGE. So acronyms have to do with the sugar and the protein that are binding together in the body, causing the organs in the body to age excessively fast. So I tell people, your body doesn't know how old you are, but your skin, your joints, your muscles and bones, they don't have a clue you just had a birthday last week. They really don't care about the little number on your driver's license or social security number, things like that. The fact is your body ages at a rate that has very little to do with your calendar age, but everything to do with what's called AGEs. So again, AGEs, they are advanced glycation end products, or compounds that accelerate the aging process, the inside and the outside. And they're nasty little things that form when sugar molecules bind with protein. So there it is, talking about protein again. So AGEs, they destroy everything in their path. They latch on to and damage your body healthy cells. Again, there's that word cell. So these AGEs are destroying any healthy cells. Any ones that's already damaged, they're damaged. But any healthy cells that you have, they are also damaging the healthy cells that you need. And you need those cells for your organs and your systems, because I tell people, think of a car that maybe you've seen sitting up in someone's backyard on the side of the road or wherever, and it's rusted. This is what AGEs do to your organs in the inside. They begin to have your organs and liver, your heart, your joints, your lungs, different organs rusting like a car. And so they contribute to many of the health-related concerns known to man today, such as COPD, high cholesterol, asthma, high blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, fibromyalgia. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, all the way to HIV. So it doesn't really matter what it is. These AGEs are inside of everybody's body that's on the planet. So, and how are they getting in? They're getting in through the food and the beverages that you are consuming. So once they bind together and latch on, these AGEs latch and they become malignant, and they begin to start the aging process where now you're aging faster on the inside than you are on the outside. So excessive AGEs can make a young person look old, and an old person look older. So the first step to living young is stopping the AGEs. So how do you actually stop AGEs or put AGEs under management control? And that's where Tahitian Noni, or our product called True Age Max, which is the only clinical proven product on the market that can be able to reduce these AGEs out of the body. So Max is based on iridoid consistency and content, and we have different beverage lines that range from 30 milligrams of iridoids all the way to a product we have called the True Age Concentrate, which is just a version of the Noni in its purest concentrate form, and it's 360 milligrams of these iridoids. So we have something for no matter what pain level that you're dealing with, acute, chronic. If you need some therapeutic therapy, just depending on what it is, this can get the job done once you start using the Noni along with the herb that Dr. Truman has given you. So now you can begin to replenish the body and put the nutrients back into the body, start reducing the AGEs out of the body, and start getting the sugar and the protein at a balance. So now the body can begin to rebalance itself to optimal level health. It takes about 120 days to rejuvenate your new red blood count cells. And so when you start this product, you want to stay with it for a full 90 days at a minimum before you just can begin to really see. It's not going to take 90 days before you see change, but I'm saying your cells are constantly rebuilding every single day. So we offer, with Miranda, we have a 90-day money-back guarantee on all of our products that whatever are used. So if you feel like that you have not seen any improvement or you're not satisfied with the product, that you've seen an improvement, then you can call Miranda and get a full refund of your money back. And I've been marketing for this company for 10 years, and I've never had anybody call me and say, I need my money back. They simply call and say, I need some more juice. I need another case of juice. I need some Rapid Fuel. I need Sugar Stop, because the product works. So the product is not on trial. So anything that comes down from the Most High, it's not on trial. So we're talking about a food that grows out of the earth, has nothing to do with man. There's no chemicals, there's no preservatives, there's no hormones, just a simple fruit that is extracted from the tree and put directly into the bottle. Actually, we have a video called From Tree to Bottle. If anyone is interested in seeing how this fruit is actually extracted, they can be able to give me a call. And Dr. Truman, I'll get some of these videos over to you. That way you can put them on the website as well, and people can go there and look at it so they can actually see how the tree is pulled off, how the food plant is pulled off the tree, and how it's extracted and put into the bottle, all the way to UPS dropping it off to your front door, all the way back to Tahiti. So every single bottle has a number on the bottle of the bottle that you can turn it upside down. And if for any reason you need to call customer service, that bottle that has arrived at your door anywhere in the world can be tracked all the way back to Tahiti, to the tree that it was pulled from, the name of the harvester that pulled it, all the way back to the boat that it came on, all the way down to the UPS driver that dropped it off to your front door. So it's got a heck of assurance, quality assurance attached to that bottle with every serial number that comes to it. So they know every single batch of noni that's going off that island and where it's going to around the world. So I just think that gives a person a reason to sleep better at night. So in case anything comes up, they can track it all the way back to Tahiti. I tell people, go to Walmart, take your milk back, and tell them something's wrong with this milk. You want to know what cow this milk came out of, and they're going to be ready to put you in a straitjacket. They don't keep up with stuff like that. So to have a company that monitors that type of quality assurance for you is absolutely a blessing. So the observations about the formation of a fill point to a careful design, I tell people, where there is a design, there must be a designer. So does this designer give us instructions about how to keep those cells healthy? And the word is yes. And who can advise us better? So I tell people, the government, the Food and Drug Administration, the American Medical Association, the Dr. Oz, Dr. Ruth, whoever, they have not the knowledge that the Most High has. So if we will return back to eating the foods that the Most High, and using the herbs and using plant-based remedies, natural herbs and remedies, then you will get the results you need to be able to live younger, longer. to reduce these AGEs out of the body and to be able to be around to continue to give all the glory, honor, and praise to the Most High. So, given our fallen world, not enough people will, really ever be wise enough to follow the divine design and to cause healthcare professionals to be put out of business. Because if everybody was using a bottle of Tahitian noni juice and drinking and using these herbs that Dr. Truman are recommending and drinking the silver colloidal, the water that he's designed, there wouldn't probably be a disease roaming this planet right now with those three things right there working in your body. So if anyone is interested in getting tested or scanned, I don't like to use the word tested, I guess scanned, we have what's called a True Age scanner. And the True Age scanner is a certified research device that uses clinical proven technology to measure the AGE levels in the skin. And it provides a fast, painless, and accurate scan in less than 20 seconds. So when exposed to the UV light, the AGs in the skin are visible through a machine called a spectrometer, which is inside the True Age scanner. So it's similar to like if you ever went to somewhere and had your blood pressure, you just kind of set your arm in the cuff, but with the scanner, there is no cuff. So in order to get more information about the scanner as well as AGEs, there is a 3-minute video. You can go to www.trueage.com. There's a 3-minute video as well as a picture of the scanner with an example on how the scanner is used and understanding how the UV light operates to detect the AGEs that are in the skin, because AGEs are in your hair, they're in your skin, they're in your fingernails, they're in your toenails, they're everywhere. So the goal is to reduce them, because if they are inside you, that means you are aging faster, and that's not good. You want to be able to live younger, longer. So I would advise everyone to go to this website Dr. Truman is giving out, be able to get on the True Age Max or the original Tahitian Noni or the Max Concentrate. And if you are interested in getting yourself scanned so you can know what your true age number is and get measured, so you can measure your true age and your AGE levels, no different than you measure your cholesterol levels or your blood pressure levels or your BMI index levels, you need to know what your AGE levels are. So in order to get an appointment somewhere, we're operating in 75 plus countries. So no matter where you are, we can get you somewhere set up to go out and get scanned and get more information and educated on these AGEs. So my contact number is 469-443-2124. My email address is kshaw, SHAW, 0026@gmail.com. If you can email me or call me if you are interested in getting yourself set up again to get scanned to know what your true age levels are. And if you are interested in ordering any of the products I've spoken about, the original Tahitian Noni juice or the Max or the Sugar Stop or the Rapid Fuel or the AGE Therapy Gel, all of these different products have different functions that target the AGEs inside of the body. So if you're interested in getting any of these products, Dr. Truman, if you can do us the pleasure on giving out the website again along with your telephone number where people can be able to order this product. And if they are interested in getting scanned, then they can be able to reach me again at 469-443-2124. That's all I have for today, Dr. Truman. I'll turn everything back over to you, and I look forward to coming back again next week with a different topic. Thank you so much, Dr. Truman.
Wonderful, wonderful. As always, you're so encouraging, and I appreciate so much the information that you always share with us. So again, next week we'll hear from Sister Kashaki. Always a different topic, always encouraging us with more information, how to be healthier. That telephone number that you want to call for any of the products mentioned here today, including the Tahitian Noni, and that telephone number is 541-791-8400. 541-791-8400. And the website is betterhealthherbs.com. betterhealthherbs.com. That's the product. For more product information and to obtain the products. However, for information about the natural remedies that we talked about also, that would be herbalhealthreview.com. Herbalhealthreview.com. That's the information website. All kinds of reports, videos, everything. It's all no charge. You can't buy anything on that website. It's an information website. But all of the links will send you over to betterhealthherbs.com, 541-791-8400. The information website, herbalhealthreview.com. herbalhealthreview.com. My telephone number to reach me is 503-362-5899. That's 503-362-5899. And my email address is Truman, Truman, at healthherbs.com. Truman at healthherbs.com. Well, we went a little bit over time today, but it was worth it. We shared a lot of information. I hope that we've been a benefit for you. Be sure and tell your friends about our Discoveries in Health broadcast every Thursday from 3 until 5 Pacific Standard Time. Be sure and invite your friends, your relatives. If there's any sick among you, send them to me here. We'll talk about it. We'll see if we can help them. All right. Thanks again. All praises to the Most High in the name of Yeshua, our Savior, the Hebrew name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing here on Discoveries in Health every Thursday from 3 until 5. Bishop Dr. Truman Burst. Bye for now.